What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to GamerFuzion. Mistfall Hunter has had quite a week. The Dark Fantasy extraction game launched a few days ago, and the developers have now confirmed it has crossed 500,000 players, along with top rankings across the major stores and streaming platforms. But that is not actually the biggest news here, because last time we covered this game, the team had just published a list of 12 known issues and told us a fix was sitting with the platforms waiting for approval, and that fix has now landed. So today we are going through every single thing they have fixed, the class buffs that came with it, the free rewards sitting in your mailbox right now, and the brand new endgame mode they just announced. Let us get into it. So let us start with those player numbers because they are genuinely impressive, but I want to be precise about what they mean. The developers say 100,000 players joined within the first 8 hours of launch, and that the game has now passed 500,000 players total. That is a real achievement for a $25 game from a brand new studio. Now here is the nuance that a lot of coverage is going to skip. 500,000 players is a cumulative total across every platform, and that includes everyone playing through Game Pass. It is not a concurrent figure. On Steam specifically, the peak concurrent player count at launch was tracked at just under 24,000. Both of those numbers are true and both are good. They just measure completely different things. So if you see somebody claiming 500,000 people are playing simultaneously, that is not what happened. And there is free stuff waiting for you right now across two separate waves. From the launch day announcement, you have got a thumbs up gesture and 500 soul coins. Then from the 500,000 player milestone, the team is handing out a Pips rare pouch voucher good for 3 days, another 500 soul coins, an Ashen Cipher, and an Abyssal Cipher. That pouch voucher is the one I would pay attention to because Pips pouch is what protects your items when you die, so 3 days of an upgraded one is genuinely useful rather than cosmetic. All of it arrives through your in-game mail and everything has to be claimed before September 1st, so do not sit on it. Now, the part I actually wanted to see, because last time we walked through 12 known issues, the developers admitted to at launch. Here is what the update has dealt with. The soul tree extraction bug is fixed, and that was the big one, because re-entering that area while summoning an extraction point could consume an extra soul of return, which meant a bug was costing you the item you needed to escape with your loot. Sorcerer players, the Flameblade issue where its visual effect did not match its actual damage range has been corrected, so you can finally trust what you are seeing. Item splitting through the secondary menu now works, so you can stop using the hotkey workaround. The incorrect tutorial prompts in certain languages are sorted, and on console, the reconnection failures after a disconnection have been addressed, along with a batch of controller and platform-specific problems. That is a genuinely fast turnaround on a launch issue list. Now, to be fair, rather than just cheerleading, not everything from the launch conversation has been resolved. The fixes we just went through were overwhelmingly bugs and platform problems, and the balance work landed on one class. The bigger complaint that dominated the launch stream, that class balance in general felt off, and the Shadow Strix in particular was too strong, has not been addressed in this round. The team's position on that has been consistent. They say they never take balance lightly and that they review player feedback alongside real gameplay data after every test, and they did already restrict the Shadow Strix crowd control chains in the launch build itself. But if you were waiting for a broad balance pass across all 6 classes, this update is not it. That is worth setting expectations on because more balance changes are clearly coming, just not yet. The update also came with class balance changes, and they are all aimed squarely at the Withered Knight, specifically its new Polearm Shield weapon. And this makes a lot of sense because that weapon only arrived at launch and it was landing a bit heavy. So the energy drain on the Polearm Shield has been reduced. Its turning performance has been improved, which was a real complaint since the weapon deliberately turns slowly. And damage has been increased on specific thrust hits. On top of that, Spear Barrage got its damage multiplier increased. Rainbow Piercer had both its energy cost and its cooldown reduced, and even the basic block action now costs less energy. Put together, that is a straightforward set of buffs. If you tried the Withered Knight at launch and found it sluggish and expensive to run, it is worth another look this week because almost every complaint about it got addressed at once. Now, the genuinely exciting announcement, because there is new endgame content coming. The developers have confirmed that a Mist Lord challenge called Einherjar mode is opening up, and this is aimed at players who have already geared up and are looking for the next mountain to climb. The hook is the loot, because defeating the Mist Lord in Einherjar mode carries an increased chance of dropping holy weapons or holy forging materials. And if you have been following this game, you will know why that matters. Holy weapons are the top tier of gear. They carry exclusive effects that change how your abilities work rather than just boosting numbers, and each map boss drops its own unique one. Unlocking this is tied to a new item called the Dried Flower Knot, which starts dropping once the next client update goes live. And it is worth spelling out why better holy weapon odds is such a big deal, because this is the entire end game chase in this game. These are not simply the next tier of numbers. The developers have described them as carrying exclusive gameplay affixes that exist nowhere else, which means a holy weapon can change what your abilities actually do rather than just how hard they hit. The one that has been shown in action is a hammer that drops from the Flesh Eater boss, and its effect is that fully charging your attack sets off an area explosion that both slows enemies and cuts down how far they can dodge, which fixes the single biggest weakness of a heavy hammer build, never being able to catch anybody. They are also tradable on the auction house, so an Einherjar run that goes well is either a build-changing upgrade or a serious pile of Gildan blood, depending on what you pull and whether your class is a popular one. And they are not finished yet, because a further client update is scheduled for the following week. The stated goals are fixing another batch of issues players have reported and improving overall build stability, with detailed patch notes promised once they are organized. So if something is still bothering you, the sensible move is to report it now while they are visibly in fix everything mode. Worth being clear on timing though, as of this video, that second update has not shipped yet, and the team has not given an exact date for it, so treat next week as their intention rather than a promise, which is also when the Dried Flower Knot and the Einherjar challenge come online. So how would I sum up this launch overall? Honestly, pretty well, and the reason is the pace. A studio that publishes its own known issues list on day one, ships fixes for most of it within a couple of days, buffs the class people were complaining about, hands out free rewards twice, and then announces new endgame content in the same week, is a studio paying attention. The player numbers are real, the fixes are real, and the follow-up cadence has been quick. The honest caveat is that this is still week one, and extraction games live or die on what the next 3 months look like rather than the first 3 days. But as opening weeks go, this one has gone about as well as the team could have hoped. So tell us down in the comments, have you claimed your rewards yet? And is the Withered Knight feeling better after those buffs? And that is everything from the 500,000 player milestone, the fixes, and what is coming next. We are following this one closely, so if you want the patch breakdowns and the Einherjar mode coverage the moment it goes live, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.